Hey y'all, so welcome to day 7 of my 30-day reflection series. My name is Sean Aaron, he, him, his, and today I'm digging into a question that's been weighing heavy on me. Like I mentioned before, these 30-day engagement videos are all about truth, healing, and Black trans visibility. So let's get into it. Today's question is, what legacy do you want to leave behind? Wow, this question is like multi-layered, right? Because there are legacies that I want to leave behind organizationally, and there's also legacy I want to leave behind within my community and legacy within my family. So that's a really good question. So it gets me to thinking of like, what does legacy mean? So I'm a look up the definition of what legacy mean. I think legacy is a word that we use really often, and we tend to not really know what words mean that we use a lot in within community, right? And so I'm gonna look up the word legacy and see what it means. So when you look up legacy, so the first definition of legacy is it's an amount of money or property left to someone in a will. So we know about that type. We like, hey, a grandparent died, left us money, left us a house. Parents, same thing, right? We know about that type of legacy. Then it says the second is a long lasting impact of particular events, actions, etc., that took place in the past or of a person's life. And so the third one is an applicant to a particular college or university who is regarded preferentially because of a parent or a relative attended the same institution. Now we know about that one, right? And even like some of the scandals and over the recent years of celebrities and things having influences on their children led into colleges based on legacy. So anyway, that's not the one I'm talking about. I'm going to talk about number 2, which is the long-lasting impact of particular events, actions, etc., that took place in the past of a person's life. And so when I think of legacy, and so for folks who don't know me, if you haven't been listening to the previous reflections, my name is Sean Aaron, he, him, his, and I am the founder and executive director of Dem Bois Inc. And so Dem Bois was originally formed to provide financial assistance to trans men of color in order for them to obtain gender affirming surgeries. And that's regardless of their economic status. And so also I'm the host of Dem Bois Podcast, and Dem Bois Podcast came through the organization as a way for me to highlight and amplify the voices of trans men of color within our communities. And so in a way, Dem Bois Podcast is creating a legacy. And so I'm able to archive stories of trans men of color all over the world, and it creates a sense of ancestral presence. So 10, 20, 30 years ago, when the medium is still available for people to listen to audio, right, on Dem Boys Podcast. And so folks know that Dem Boys Podcast, if you've listened to it, if you haven't, go ahead and check out Dem Boys Podcast. But it's audio only. Right. And so with this reflective series, this is also a stretch for me, right? Because I'm never on video, I'm never on camera. I'm always doing audio. And so that's also a legacy, right? Of leaving behind this 30-day engagement for folks to tap into years down the line, right? Maybe hopefully I'm still physically present in this body, but if I'm not, that's creating a legacy of videos and interpretations of what healing and trans visibility means to me, and that other folks can see in the future and witness. So organizationally, leaving behind a legacy for me means fostering community in a way that is meaningful to someone's life. So let me give you an example. So through the organization, providing a financial assistance grant to someone who wanted to obtain gender affirming surgery. Now, when we think of gender affirming surgeries, and whatever capacity that you think about gender affirming surgeries, so whether that's great or good, right? Whether you are a recipient or not, whether you're an ally or a community member, or if you understand personally because you've had gender affirming surgery before, statistics have shown that folks have, I want to say, I'm not going to quote the statistics why, but people live more healthier and fulfilled lives after gender affirming surgery for folks that choose to medically transition. And so it's been proven that folks have happier lives and more fulfilled lives because they are being able to be present within their bodies, and their bodies are able to reflect their gender identity in a more complete way. And so just think of the effects that has on a person once given the opportunity to get have gender affirming surgery when they economically would not have been able to afford it, but by us giving grants to folks to obtain gender affirming surgery. Imagine just the impact that has on a person's life. And so I see it as we're building community leaders and for the future, just based on providing economic assistance for gender affirming surgery. So we giving folks the confidence to lead movements, to lead organizations, and to lead the work within the community because they now feel more comfortable in their body in order to do the work that was led on their heart to do. And so when I think of legacy, I think of doing this work, amplifying transgender color voices, and also providing assistance that gives way to legacy. And not just for myself, but other folks in the community that benefit from our services. They also, it's like a ripple effect. So I'm creating a legacy within this organization as an executive director and the founder, and also it's a ripple effect of those who have been receive care through our organization. And so then I think about legacy with my family. And so for folks that know, I am a parent, I am a father, I am a grandparent. And so when I think of legacy, I don't think of leaving behind money or leaving behind property in ways that people tend to think about legacy. What I think about legacy with my family is that I am doing the work. I am living a life to where I feel my son, or I feel that the folks looking up to me in my family, I can lead in a way that sparks leadership within my own family. And so by someone looking at me, my son watching me, my granddaughter watching me, that that creates a legacy of, oh, we know how sometimes that people can create a legacy and leave a legacy behind for folks to follow, right? We think of the King family or the Malcolm X family, right? Of like these legacies that was created by their loved ones in the past. And so what they go on to create in the future. And so legacy to me is very, very important. And it's also, it reflects on my life in a way that the way I move. And it's not just for people who know me, right? You may not even know me. I'm creating a legacy from creating these videos. And you're like, someone 10 years can be like, oh, can show this video and be like, this was Sean Aaron, and this is what Sean Aaron had to say in this moment in 2025. And so when I think of legacy, I think of something that you are doing right now in this moment that will carry off into the future and has great ripple effects. And that could be good or bad. Legacy can be good or bad, right? And we know in this current political climate, a lot of things that are happening and negative legacies are created, right? Things are being dismantled that have long-term effects and long-term detrimental effects. And so we know that creates a legacy and a ripple effect as well, right? And so I want to give folks to thinking about the type of legacy that you want to leave behind. Do you want to leave a legacy behind that folks would be proud of? Or do you want to leave a legacy behind that folks aren't proud of, right? And so, and that's subjective, right? What folks do in the past that other folks look up to, right? We got communists that people look up to. We have colonizers that have statues across this country that people look up to, right? We got flags that leave legacy that people look up to, like the Confederate flag, and people say this is my history, right? And so there is a ripple effect and a legacy throughout everything that we do. And so it's like, what is the impact that you want to leave on your community that makes a difference? And so I want to invite you to leave a comment below this video, and we all have something we want to leave behind, right? And so what do you want your legacy to be? And that could be anything, right? It could be small, it can be huge. So thank you for tuning in with me for day 7. Be back tomorrow for day 8. Tomorrow's question will be, describe my own ideal support system and how am I finding it right now. And so tomorrow I'll be asking that question. So I thank you for tuning in to my 30-day engagement. This is day 7. Once again, my name is Sean Aaron, he, him, his, and I'll see you tomorrow.